Very cool. And I'm so excited to be here with Gerry today. I've known Gerry for a number of years, and the shows that I've seen and the workshops that I've seen him do have always been of amazing quality and have really intrigued me. And I'm going to ask him some questions today. There's an amazing opportunity to ask him some questions that I've, had in the back of my mind for quite a while. He is artistic director of Shifting Sands Theatre and has directed and starred in numerous shows, including The King Lear, Faustus, Great Expectations, Romeo and Juliet, many, many others, and is particularly interested in using clowning to reinterpret and rediscover classic tales and plays and myths. But going back before that, Gerry had a very, long career as a performer and director. He was one of the co-founders of Commotion Theatre, which is well known for its highly inventive and visual style of theatre. He performed with companies including the David Glass Ensemble, Complicite, and Bubble Theatre, and also taught and worked in Italy for 2 years, teaching clowning and performing with Clown Selvaggio. Am I saying that right?
Selvaggio.
Selvaggio.
Like primitive clown.
Ah, okay. Well, we should talk about that. Maybe I'll add a question on at the end about that. So welcome, Gerry. It's amazing to have you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So we were talking a bit before we came on about what we'd like to talk about. And we thought we'd start with a question about your work, Gerry. This is something that intrigues me because nearly all the plays you've done have been adaptations of classics. So I'd really like you to talk a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, about why you like doing those kinds of reinterpretations of classics, and what is it that clowning brings to those things.
Okay. Thanks for letting me be here. Thanks for that great introduction. Looks like the malt whiskey and the 50 quid arrived in time. So thank you very much.
Yeah, excuse me.
Very
good.
Yeah, the classics, we've done quite a few. Not just though, we also devise stuff that's not connected to any tale or classic thing. Okay, it goes back a long way. So it's perhaps something to do with the ambition, or shall we say pretentiousness, of the clown who attempts to do great theatre. Yeah.
Right.
And because someone's told him that's what people like. They like the big sort of stuff, the real theatre. You just got to go on and do it, and they'll like it. Yeah. And so the clown is very much sort of engaged, sort of thinks it's a brilliant idea. This is an old sort of tale from Philippe Gaulier. Basically, you meet someone in the pub and they give you some brilliant advice like that. So all you got to do is you just go on stage, you get dressed up a bit, like old-fashioned, some clothes or whatever, and you can do Hamlet, and you just got to say to be or not to be. And you learn some of that stuff, and you have brilliant lighting, and you need to hold a skull in your hand, at some point. Yeah. And that's all the clown knows. So they just practice a lot. It's a bit hard to get sort of authentic sort of old costume. Yeah, has a look around. Really does look around, but comes at this will this has got to do. Where do you find the skull? So he's going around anyway. This will do. This will be good enough. Yeah. So it's a cabbage or just something or whatever. And he goes on stage and he starts the monologue, to be or not to be, and all of that. And people really love it. They're just crying with laughter. The clown's pissed off.
Yes.
The clown is really he's pissed off. He's looking to the side wings, but they're laughing at me. I'm doing theatre.
Yeah.
This is bloody Shakespeare. And
right.
I've learned it. And the more he rants, the more they laugh. And he gets really pissed off. He can't, and he storms off stage. And of course, you know, it's an apocryphal story, but the stage manager says, "Brilliant, do it again, same next week." Yeah, Clive said, "No way, no bloody way. I want to do theatre. I don't want them to laugh at me." "No, it's brilliant. Please come back." And so the story goes. But basically, for me, it was some sort of attempt at the pretentiousness or just the ambition to do something highfalutin, and that seemed. I just like the contrast between that sort of high theatre, like real theatre, highfalutin theatre, and the simplicity of the clown. You know, that just really attracted me. So anyway, could talk a long time, but anyway, sort of got into it all. I really want to stress, though, make clear, totally clear, that Shakespeare, Faustus, Chekhov, all of this stuff, I love it. This is not a spoof. This is not making fun of it at all. It's delicious, brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, for God's sake. And if you do your version of it, you can get rid of all the crap and just have the hot bits in it. Yeah.
Right.
And so, I mean, I sort of think, why isn't everyone doing this? It just seems an obvious thing. I don't know. So it's to enjoy it. So there's a playfulness within it. So Romeo and Juliet, yeah. They die at the end. Okay, sorry to spoil that for you, but they die at the end. So we know the story. I mean, everyone knows some of it. If you don't, you're an idiot. Yeah. You know something about it. So why go and see it?
Right.
Why
see a straight version? Well, I suppose this is what contemporary productions of Shakespeare try to do. They just try to make them a little bit different with a set or a costume or something like that, don't they? But throwing clown at it gives you a whole different set of opportunities.
Yeah, but I mean, the public, if they're decent public, they go and see it because they love it. You find a disc, a record, a track that you like, you just wear it out. You know, you never grow tired of it. Yeah, if you do, you're dying. And so there it is. That's why it's a classic. People want it. They admire it. They see it, and all that's interesting. All, as you've said, Barnaby, is how are they going to do it? Yeah. Will I like the way they do it, or will it be bullshit? Yeah. Will it be pretentious, whatever's, or will they somehow remind me, reawaken in me the honesty and truth that I felt when I first read it, or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the clown attempts to do, whether it's with a classic or whatever. They attempt to sort of, through the joy, the honesty, the playfulness, is to remind you, you know, what a bottle of water is. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is, and it can be Shakespeare, but they just remind you of stuff that you know already, but you've forgotten. And this is the important word: the quality of it.
So how do they do that, Gerry? How do they? This kind of almost brings me to my other question, my second question, which is to do with the qualities of a clown. Like, what is it about the way you present that bottle of water that would make me see, you know, that would make me remind me what it is?
You've got to be sort of simple. You've got to be honest. You've got to enjoy being there and being with the bottle or with the text. You've got to find your pleasure in it, yeah, or your hatred of it. But you've got to have a feeling that is real, inverted commas, for you. That is a real feeling, and often you don't have to do anything. It's just to find the stillness with things. So, like with Shakespeare, like with any good text, you're the bloody performer. You don't have to do. It's all written for you. All you have to do, your a vehicle. It comes through you to the audience, and your job is not to fuck it. Sorry, it's not to mess it up. Yeah, your job is to deliver it so it's heard and it's simple, and that comes through your own admiration of the text. Look, if I don't know what food you like, yeah, I don't know what food you like.
I like potatoes.
Potato, okay, and Moshe does as well, potatoes. But look, you've not tasted these potatoes, yeah, and you've not tasted them cooked this way, yeah. Okay, fine, don't like it. How about coming out for some real, and I mean real, authentic fish and chips, the real business, not the rubbish you get. Okay, fine. Now, pizza. Now, not the trash, not the. So if you like some.
I want the fish and chips, Gerry, please.
So basically, no matter what it is, it's got nothing to do with clown. If you like something, you want to share that with someone. And if they don't like it, that's cool. Try this instead. Try this. Try this. So it's your enthusiasm to tell people about a good experience, a good feeling, a good attitude that you've had. Yeah. And the bloody problem is that if you tell someone about a brilliant place you've been on holiday, all the bastards then go there. But anyway, that's by the way.
Does that go for theatre as well? So you do a great clown show about based on Romeo and Juliet, and that everyone wants to go and see Romeo and Juliet after that. Not necessarily your version, but the straight version, because you've reinvigorated their love of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barnaby, but the version that we do is the straight version.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's bollocks. There isn't a straight version. Yeah, you can try to be authentic like they do in the Globe a bit. It's changed a lot already. I mean, it's not authentic, but you can attempt to be authentic. But that's something else. That's just sort of historicism, and it's a bit bollocks. But there isn't a straight version. There's the normal version. There's a version that you get in that theatre because they have that sort of style, or they appreciate that way of doing it. But look, this is the way of doing it.
But so when you talked about the clown having this kind of endless enthusiasm for the thing, this kind of like passion for the thing, right? Whatever the thing is.
The enthusiasm can drop, but anyway, continue with what you're saying. Optimistic is the beginning, yeah.
So it could be, look at this amazing pen, God, this pen is just fucking incredible. Look at it. Just look at this pen. And I've never, or it could be a piece of text. It could be a character from a play.
Okay.
Is that kind of where you're going with this? Like the way you do Hamlet is like the clown loves Hamlet so much that he wants to perform and demonstrate Hamlet to the audience with this incredible passion, and that passion ends up being funny because it's over the top.
No, that could happen. That could happen. So it's over elaborate. They're over excited. Pardon me, Barnaby, but like when you were trying to sell me the pen there, yeah, I wouldn't have bought it off you. Yeah,
what?
No, because I just didn't believe it. So it's all about. I mean, it's all we're in the business, believe it or not, of communication, and so you need to know how it's going down, whether you've got through. Because look, okay, you don't like Thai food, that's fine, but how about this? I've got to try to bring you into it somehow. Okay, right. So that's the game. And their excitement about doing Shakespeare doesn't mean they're excited when they're doing it. They want to deliver it in the most sublimely beautiful way. They want to deliver it so the audience get these magic words. Yeah. And so it's an understanding of text and how to play with text and how to deliver text. It's got nothing to do with psychology. It's irrelevant. It's got nothing to do with psychology. Oh man. Anyway, sorry. And it's
so when you're working with a clown in a workshop and you're trying to, what are these qualities then? You seem to be speaking to one of them, which is this enthusiasm or energy. Are there other qualities, or is that kind of it?
There are untold number of qualities. It's infinite. There's nothing finite about it at all. You need to. I mean, all sorts of things. I first came across this. Working with and being directed by Phelim McDermott in Probable Theatre. And he's probably nicked it from someone else. And I think it comes from Michael Chekhov, but I think he probably ripped it off from someone as well. If you steal it from one person, that's robbery, yeah? But if you nick it from loads of people, that's research.
Right.
I think that's Oscar Wilde or someone like that. Check out Oscar Wilde. But anyway, what was I saying?
Something you learned from Phelim McDermott.
Oh yeah, about qualities. So Phelim would ask us just to enter the room, and he would give us a quality. So it'd be like, it's not to actually achieve or do anything big. It's just to enter with a quality. So enter the room with the quality of a broken leg. And so, what? What? And so you just try it. You enter the room with the quality of tragedy, and it's usually shit if you do that, because it's you do too much. You try to sell it. No, it's just with the quality of it. So everybody, please read Michael Chekhov, because he can explain it better than me. So it's an attitude of feeling, and it's not. You can do a whole show playing with qualities, and they're not. They are not read or seen by the audience, but they inform you.
Yeah.
Other qualities are communicated to the audience. Yeah. Because you want that. Yeah. But other qualities are just for you, really. Yeah. They get you because you like it.
Yeah. And what I'm trying to get at, Gerry, is what differentiates clown performance from just acting? Because a lot of the things we're talking about are, I think actors should be doing this.
Yeah, they don't. Not all of them. The really good ones do. Yeah, of course they do. We admire. I admire loads of actors. Yeah, but then you get sort of people who do. Oh God, I think my memory's gone, Barnaby. But it's
I think of specific.
So you get method actors. So my beautiful laundrette, Last of the Mohicans. What's his name? Dead famous
as well.
Totally dead famous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you go and play in the Last of the Mohicans, and he went out and lived in the woods for 2 weeks. I mean, I think it's just a waste of time.
Somebody out there will know. Daniel Day-Lewis, thank you.
Yeah. He's a brilliant actor. I love him. I admire what he does. But fuck, why go and live in the woods for? I don't know. I think it's a lot of hard work. Really, it's not necessary.
Yeah, just act. It's just acting. Come on.
So the difference between it is that I think it's not huge if you're a brilliant actor, but that's the easiest thing to say. But there's a playfulness about the clown. Any good actor will understand play and will play. I mean, Judi Dench is brilliant at playing. Maggie Smith, bloody hell, what extraordinary brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. And they play all the time. Not an easy thing to play with them. But
Yeah.
anyway.
So what about failure, Gerry? Because for me, well, a lot of clowns say that failure is maybe the key ingredient. But it sounds to me like where you're headed, it's not necessary, because playfulness can be there in the clown without failure.
Okay. I'll answer that in a tick.
Yeah.
Difference between actors and clowns. It depends how as an actor, it depends how you're trained or how you're introduced or what interests you. But, what is my motive? And it can be psychological. You know what I mean? And not interested. I don't in that.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing at having a motive.
Right.
Unless you're playing up, being psychological. I really understand this character, or in some way you understand, what it's about. So I think, but not all actors are into that. Yeah, I mean, look at Michael Chekhov and what he's given us is fantastic, absolutely brilliantly. It's a manual for clowning. Yeah, it is a manual for clowning. So get out there and bloody read it. What was the second question? So that was a diversion.
I'm selling Michael Chekhov, by the way, just as a side note.
No, Chekhov is genius. His short stories are beyond are fabulous. I'm sorry,
to him.
That was a diversion. There was another question.
Thing about failure.
Oh yeah. So with these texts, with these shows that we do, not just with sort of classic texts or whatever. What I love to do is shows that have a really good mixture of clown and tragedy. So maybe tragedy comes in a bit of failure. And so I just admire that, and it's just brilliant. And the thing about it that links the two is playfulness, but above all, simplicity. Not neutral. That's bollocks, unless you're playing at that. But simplicity. And so that's the wonder and the beauty of tragedy. It is. So that's what I like to do. So shortened version, make them laugh, get them involved emotionally, and make them cry the bloody eyes out.
That sounds easy.
Yeah. But you've got Shakespeare to help you. And if you haven't got Shakespeare, then you've got your mate down the pub who says, just go on stage and say to be or not to be, and it'll be cool.
Right.
But you'll find it again. It just depends what interests you. That's what interests me. Yeah, because I just love it. I think it's great. I just admire. There's a big difference. I can go on about this for a while, Barnaby. It's up to you. But there's a big difference between tragedy and tragic.
Yes.
It's a huge difference. Lots of things are tragic. It's got nothing to do with tragedy. Lots of people, when you try to communicate this or to play or get game, they play tragic. But no, it's tragedy. Tragedy is beautiful. It's like, for example, in Antigone.
Yeah.
So she buries her brother. He throws freaking dust over him. And it's a big confrontation between her and, God, I forget his name, but the guy,
something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, the guy that runs the city, the king of this, it's not a king. Anyway, and it's amazing sort of thing, duel between them. And she goes to her death, and she's simple, and she's almost got a little smile, and we just wonder at that. That's just really beautiful, and we just think, fuck, if I was in that position, I wouldn't do that. I couldn't be like that.
Mm.
Friends have died, and at the end, not all of them, but some of them have just been so generous and positive, and don't cry for me. I've had a good life. And it's just, you just admire them for that. So there's a richness of emotion. The clown is full of that. I mean, we're full of that. We're human beings, so we want to laugh and we want to cry. And like the crucial thing, Barnaby, is that the same things. Laughing and crying, physically, it's the same. There's no difference in the body really between it. And the tears come whether you're sad or whether you're happy, and sometimes they get bloody mixed up. And people wonder whether you're enjoying it or not. But they're the same thing.
It does sound, in a way, to me as though, I've heard this talked about by. Do you know Joss Huben?
Yes,
I think he's a great clown teacher.
Josh is brilliant, and if you think that I'm any good, forget it. I'm serious. Forget it. Go and work with Josh. He is amazing.
And he said something once in a workshop I took with him about, which really stuck with me, which is, I'll get the exact what he said exactly wrong, but it was to do with poetry, that the clown is a poet, essentially, of these, but instead of using words, they're just using the body, but it's poetry. Clowning is a poetic form, and in the way that poet wants to crystallize these essential, beautiful, truthful nuggets of language and in images, but in language, clowns, what it seems to me what you're saying is that, and what he was saying is that clowning is the same. It's trying to capture these essential, truthful, beautiful, just those words don't even do it justice, but just these things that make, as you say, make us laugh and make us cry, and we just know deep down that they are true. And the clown's job is to kind of crystallize those in moments in images, in physical moments.
Yeah, if they're any good.
If they're good. So this leads me to another question about your own work.
You should have Josh on this thing. Yeah.
You'd be a good one.
Honestly, he's brilliant. He's a real sod. I mean, he's a great director. He directed a number of shows for The Right Size.
Yeah.
That's a duo, Hamish and Sean. And or if you're in England, sorry, can I do a bit of an advert?
Yeah, of course.
If you're in England, I'm sorry if you're not. Well, actually, I'm not. No, England's a bit shit at the minute, but quite happy to be out of it. I mean, he's gone to Portland, but The Right Size, one of the huge sort of shows, was the play What I Wrote, and it's a bit of a take on Morecambe and Wise. If you don't know who Morecambe and Wise is, I'm just sad for you. Anyway, they are. The original cast was Hamish and Sean. Sean is now a director, a brilliant director, and Birmingham, and he is reviving the play What I Wrote, and it goes out in end of November, December in Birmingham, and it goes to Bath and then Chichester, and my mate Dennis is in it.
Oh, cool. Dennis what?
Dennis Herdman. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's great. So. But I just got to tell you this about Josh. So he directed a show with The Right Size. And for the love of me, I can't remember the name. But this is just a duo. Hamish and Sean are trapped in this room and they can't get out. Can't remember what it's called.
Hey, he's watching. Dennis is watching.
Dennis.
Yeah.
I just did the ad, Dennis. So send us the 50 quid, okay?
He says, thanks, mate. Yeah. 50 quid's in the post.
this show.
Stop
This
calling me
show.
Vernon.
Stop telling me.
Stop calling me Vernon.
Exact. This show was unbearable. The reason being, and I'm not joking, it was so fucking funny. Well, laughing your gut, and they'd hit another laugh that was even bigger, and while you're on that, they'd hit you with another, and it was like relentless.
Wow.
Fucking huge. It was painful. It was painful.
Yeah.
And if you were there, you're really lucky to have seen it. It's Hamish and Sean are real. It's a shame they've not worked. Anyway.
Well, now we have to put up with Dennis.
And Josh, that's Josh working with these two.
Now we have to put up with Dennis instead, right? Because he's performing it. Well, not the same.
I know. Dennis is playing Sean in this one. Although he's probably playing Dennis in it. I don't know. Playing another person is a tricky one, isn't it? If you've created a show and then there's so much about you and then somebody else steps into that role, imagine that's quite tricky. It is, but listen, I mean, get this. This is really interesting. So in the original, it was Hamish and Sean, and so they're on stage. They're at the London Palladium, yeah, West End London Theatre, it's the London Palladium.
Yeah.
I'm hating. So that I think Dennis is going into this thing, and we still don't know yet. But sorry,
he says, "I'm playing me. I'm playing bloody me."
Dennis, or is he going to be playing? Or is he going to be playing Dennis?
Well, he's just commented. I'm playing.
And that's interesting.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
I think that's the best.
I was directing a show. With these two guys, drop of a hat, and they use their own names in the show. Yeah, their real names in the show. And I've said to them, it might be. I really don't know about that. And one of them was saying, "Oh, that's really authentic." And if I think that's bullshit. No, it's an interesting thing. I mean, regardless of what you call them, but it's I don't know. I would just find it personally. I would just. I wasn't called today. My next show, be Gerry. So and it's an interesting thing. And just throw it out there.
What's the name of the?
But I don't know what you call it.
Is it the play What I Wrote? Is that that's the one that Dennis is in, right?
Yeah.
The play What I Wrote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody commented from America asking about the name of it, and obviously you're going to struggle to see it because it's in Birmingham, in the UK. But are they doing a live stream of it and anything like that? Do you think? Online? Dennis, maybe you
could. I don't know. Dennis. I mean, Dennis. I mean, he's just auditioned for it the other week. He's only just found out like a few days ago. He's got it. So it's early days. They don't start rehearsal till November. Right. So I don't think he's got all the yet. Birmingham and then Bath and then Chichester. Yeah. And because of COVID and everything, theatres are just starting to open and to book.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Dennis. That's a really fantastic role. It'd be lovely to have you on.
Because it's a whole.
We're kind of getting a little bit of a glitchy signal from you, Gerry. I don't know if
with the connection.
I don't know if it's happening at other people where they're watching it. People watching on Facebook are seeing this as well, but it's sort of you're coming in and out a little bit. Just so you know.
I can screen.
Okay, I just want to come back.
Chinese that sort of infiltrate.
Yeah. Yeah, we're being spied on. That it's the clown.
You Hong Kongers.
It's the clown police. It's the Chinese clown police. They want to find out. what we're doing over here, the seditious clowns.
Well,
so I want to come back to folks.
If you
and
think
just
life is tough, it's tough in Hong Kong, folks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Barnaby.
That's okay. I just want to remind you guys, if anybody has any questions for Gerry, then throw them into the comments, because we're 40 minutes into this interview. I can't believe it. We've been talking for 40 minutes, and it seems like we just began. But if you've got any questions,
also,
then
if you want to send me money, that's okay too.
If you want to send Gerry money, he needs it, because he's living with his family. He's basically homeless. He's on the street. He's a hobo.
Well, I'll just spend it on whiskey and women.
Well, he lives in Scotland, so he has to, keep up with the locals and drink plenty of whiskey.
Exactly.
There's a lot of whiskey made around here, I'm glad to say. Seems to be a distillery on just about every corner.
Is it whiskey or is it bourbon?
Well, it's a good question. It's probably bourbon. There's also marijuana shops on every corner here.
Is it whiskey or bourbon? What? I've lost you.
Now, I was just saying there are also lots of cannabis dispensaries around here. They seem to be even more populous than the distilleries. Can you hear me?
I don't want to hear about that, Barnaby. That's not right.
It's not right. Yeah. Well, it's right over here. At least
children might be tuning into this, and look, you could just set them on the wrong path.
I know. Well, whiskey's fine though. We can give the little ones a shot of whiskey.
You've got kids of your own, man. You've got kids of your own.
I have to hide the whiskey from that.
Come on.
Okay, questions. Somebody says, okay, we have a question, Gerry, a real life question. We are currently creating a clown show about dementia. Any advice or exercises that can help us tackle this complicated subject? Yeah, Gerry's a good one to talk about dementia. Go for it.
Okay. Just talk to people. Go and find out. You've got to do your research. Yeah, you got to do your research and go and visit and see. I assume you're doing that and have done that. And if you can, depends what you want. But if you can involve dementia sufferers in the show, yeah. In some way, but you need to understand something of what dementia is. I think I don't know, there's common misunderstandings about what it is, the various sort of types and forms of dementia. There are some, I forget her name. It's a lady here in Edinburgh, and I've got her name here because I wrote it down today. Just wait a minute. How did I write it? I got a new notebook. I can't find it.
Oh, I'm always love a new notebook.
Poundland.
Beautiful.
Cost £1. It cost $1.25.
What?
I know.
What's going on?
What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll get there. I hope.
That's okay.
Can't find it.
While you're thinking about it, Marianne wrote in the comments, I've been through this with my mom and clowning helped tremendously. So she had some dementia experience, and she says I'm available to chat to if anyone needs or wants to. Thanks, Marianne. So you might get in touch. I think it's Anish or Nice. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sheena. She's a bit crazy. She spells her name backwards.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, do I feel stupid now?
Madeline. There's a lady here in Edinburgh called Madeline, and I forget her surname, but she's a clown, and her bloke is a clown, and he is Tim Licati, Licati. So you can track him.
That rings a bell.
Yeah. And I've got to get in touch with him because people say I should. So anyway, so she has been a clinic clown, and she does clowning for seniors, for elderly people, and in particular for people with dementia.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe she's shit, but she knows stuff. Yeah, she knows stuff, and I'm sure she isn't shit. I think she's really generous and positive. Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if they're connected to there's a group I'm trying to think of called Hearts
and Minds. She's a part of that, or maybe even set it up. I don't know about them. I think, and I might be wrong, that they might be like a clinic clown, sort of hospital clown sort of group.
They are. Sure. That's exactly right. Yeah. Madeline. Okay, that's a great contact for you there, Sheena. Maybe get in touch with.
But if you're working with people with dementia, okay, music. I mean, you should know that. I mean, this is simple. I'm not a particular adept or have huge knowledge in this area, but music, is a key thing, because regardless of what is going on in their heads and their inabilities or lack or reduced abilities, often it's astounding their memory or their pleasure with music, and so that's got to be in your show, man. Whoever you are, that's got to be. You find that.
I'm curious, Sheena, about whether it's for people with dementia or it's about dementia.
You got to do your research. You got to. Pardon.
I was just curious to asking Sheena whether she's actually making the show for people with dementia or it's just about dementia in some way. You know, whether the audience, who's the intended audience of the show, which it'd be interesting to know. Because the clinic clowns obviously work with people who have dementia, so they're very used to clowning for those people, but they wouldn't necessarily be clowning about dementia. Whereas if you're trying to make a show that is about dementia and you want to take it to art centers or to raise awareness about dementia for people who don't have dementia, that's a sort of a different goal, I guess.
Yeah, different game. Yeah. But of course, this recent film, my brain. It's got a really simple title, and in it is, I can't remember his name. Who played Hannibal Hector?
Anthony Hopkins.
He's in it, and he's got dementia.
Oh, I know the film you're talking about. Yeah, somebody will look it up.
I've not seen it.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but the reviews have been. I mean, he's brilliant. Yeah,
he sort of imagines different people in his flat, doesn't he? Sort of different people going.
I assume so. Yeah. So there's different levels and layers to play at. If you're going to go there and play or represent someone with dementia, and oh man, in the current sort of bloody climate, people will be pissed off with you because you're pretending to be demented or something. But you're there presumably to sort of serve the situation and to have that sympathy and to increase understanding. If you're not, then don't do it. But you need to play with different times and be able to switch on a sixpence from one character to another. So you got to be sort of reasonable. You got to be hot and sort of adept at physical change. And indicating that by small things or big things, and do a lot of that.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. And thanks for the question, Sheena. She says, it is about dementia. The characters are supposed to have it, but we are also presenting the show in different centers, but also for public.
Okay, cool.
Okay. This actually makes me think about clowning in relation to illness in general, and I wanted to get round to this topic of the current global situation and COVID and the kind of disconnection we're experiencing, Gerry, and whether could you what do you think about the clown's role right now? What is the clown's job in this current global pandemic plus all the other crap that's going on in the world at the moment? What's our job? What are we called to do?
Okay, I'm sorry, but are we called to do nothing? If we think that we're called upon to do something important, bollocks, sorry, Barnaby. I think it's, I'm sorry, we're not called upon to do anything. I think or the danger is, I'm sure you don't mean this, but the danger is that we think we have some highfalutin notion about what our role is in the world. I mean, get out. Don't buy that at all. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's just how I feel about it. We don't have any role. The role that we have is to say again, Bun.
Does that mean the clown doesn't have a social role in your view?
No. The clown totally has a social role. Yeah. The problems arise when the bloody clown thinks they've got one, and they try to put it into action. Now, that can lead to really good results. You know what I mean? But there can be sort of fucking pretentious stuff. So look, you go back to the Russian Revolution, sort of really good political clowning. Yeah? Really, really good political clowning. And if you're into satire and into bouffon, do it. Yeah? Do it. Because they need to be told that they need to be told. And you need to enrage people so that, this bloody revolution will not be televised. Yeah. But you've got to do what interests you and what motivates you and so on. If you want to be political, be political. Of course, do your thing. But I don't particularly. Anyway, I'm just repeating myself.
Does it need to be political though? I mean, so last week when I spoke to Caroline, she had this impassioned thing about, we are making the world a better place by bringing this sense of playfulness and pleasure through clown teaching, for example. And that was, I think, what she felt the clown's role was, or this thing that she's called to do. So I'm not necessarily saying it has to be political or making a big statement about the world, but does in your view, doesn't the clown have some kind of role to play, or some kind of calling in terms of bringing balance or bringing society back to the important things, as any artist, you might say? Is that still too much?
Yeah, no, I sort of go with that, but that's not my that's not my initial sort of wish or desire to do that. I'm not led by that. I'm hoping that occurs. Yeah.
Right.
I'm hoping that occurs, and if I'm any good, that will happen. So if I set out to do Romeo and Juliet, yeah, I'm not intending. I don't say, "Oh, look, they've got to bloody cry at the end." Yeah, if they don't, no. That's not my motivation. My motivation is to do justice to Shakespeare and to find the fun in it and the play in it that attracts me. And I want to share that because I think it's brilliant. I want to share that with you guys, with the audience, because it's dead good. So it's not the initial thing. I'm hoping that those we've all been. We're doing it now. We're talking through bloody screens, which is great. And certainly across distance, it's sort of you have to. God, he's in Portland. 20 years ago, what the hell? Something out of Star Trek. But so yeah, and what has happened is that people have forgotten, and always will anyway. But it's been exaggerated by the COVID thing. People don't talk enough, don't communicate enough with each other on a direct one-to-one sort of basis. People don't speak enough to each other in the street and whatnot. People don't compliment each other people enough. My sister always taught me, someone does a good job for you, compliment them. Doesn't matter what it is, they're just nice to you on the till at checkout. It doesn't matter what the freaking hell it is. Just let them know, yeah, nice one, thanks. Yeah. So we're into communication, of course, but I don't set out with that as my initial thing. And I'm hoping that I generate stuff that will communicate.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's what gets you out of bed in the morning is really your own enjoyment of the material you're working with and the desire to share that more than to have any particular impact.
Yeah. It's not a selfish, as you say, it's not a selfish enjoyment. It's like, this is great. It's so good. Look, come on, let's do it. Let's get involved. Let's share this because it's dead good. Just as you would if you're cooking something or whatever. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important to eat together. Yeah. Families have got to bloody eat together. And it's so frightening that that isn't the case always. People have just got to be.
They watch TV together now.
I know, and eat at the same time.
Yeah.
Everyone should be just sent to Italy for 6 months. Get rid of conscription. Just send them to families in. Just billet them with an Italian family for 6 months, and their lives would be increased immeasurably, and they'll end up having opinions about things. Sorry, I'm going to go off on one now. I mean, one of the brilliant things about Italy is that everyone's got an opinion, and the opinion they have isn't something they've got off the telly or a newspaper. This is the truth. This is the bloody. They actually have opinions that they've worked out, and it's just fascinating. If you give people rather than just becoming clones of something or other, and that's what's so shit about all the politics at the moment. Anyway, not going there.
When you were in Italy, Gerry, it sounds like you had this experience of understanding something different, a different way of being. Is this from the 2 years you spent in Italy? Yeah,
3 years, and then sort of going back for years. Quite a number of times. Sort of after then. Magic. I mean, I was living in Rome. It's amazing. In the center of Rome, Campo de Fiore. It was just magic. And then got to learn the language a bit and sort of started performing on the street and everything. Met up with Clown Selvaggio, and then we went to Napoli. It was just out of this world. Napoli is just, can't describe it. It's just fabulous. It's just another world. Neapolitans are fucking crazy. They're beautiful and know how to treat one another and look after it. There's another world as well. So Italy's so parochial, we say, but I mean, they were so individual. Bits of it are sort of got their own identity and very strongly in Napoli, bloody hell. And then you go south, you get end up in Sicily. But anyway, I better shut up because I'll go on.
Is it still like that, do you think, or is it something historical that's changed, globally? Because nothing stays the same. Nowhere stays the same.
No, nothing changed the same. No, not at all. It's horrific. There was this amazing sort of place to eat in Trastevere called Augusta's. That was just, food was like simple and brilliant. It's on bloody TripAdvisor now and Lonely Planet and all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem with good stuff. But no, Neapolitans, people have tried to change them for thousands of years. They're impenetrable. No way.
That's great. Tell me about
things have changed.
Let's finish. Yeah, let's finish. Because we're coming to the top of the hour, but that was something I mentioned at the very beginning in the introduction and was intrigued by. What is Clown Selvaggio? Tell us about it.
Good question. I spent a few years there trying to work it out myself. They were very welcoming to me. Yeah, this English guy, really welcoming to me, and Benedetto and Maria, a couple, and they sort of ran the company with Claudio. He was a musician, and they did various sorts of, how to describe it. They really did called Clown Selvaggio, but they didn't really do any shows. They did sort of things on the streets, and they did exhibitions and made masks, and did what we perhaps would call sort of walkabout street theatre stuff, but it was a bit bigger than that. But that's all I could sort of describe it as. And we did do we did do shows. The last one was called Gabbia di Matti, which is which is, it's a madhouse. Gabbia di Matti means, yeah, it's the cage of madmen. It's a madhouse, basically, was how you translate it. So that was bonkers and good and interesting. But although they call themselves Clown Selvaggio, sorry Benedetto, but there was very little clowning went on. But there was some, and we did this amazing project in Napoli with a community group down there, and it was Napoli. And we never got fucking paid. Someone ripped us off. I'm not going down that. Anyway, that's Napoli for you. That's Napoli for you.
It sounds like it was an amazing.
And Benedetto knows the system, yeah, and he got ripped off. The classic tale is this: guy goes to the market, the street market. Yeah, the guy goes to the street market in Napoli, and this is true story, by the way. And he's buying watches. Okay, no, sorry, not a watch. He's buying. It's an old antique clock, right? This happened to a friend of mine. This is true. And it was an old elaborate, it cost, a few hundred sort of euros, or what is lira, anyway, pounds then. Anyway, it wasn't cheap. And so they wrapped it up for them, and they took it home, and they opened it. Not joking, it was a brick. And these are Italians who know what's what. Yeah. They know brilliant. What's what. Yeah. And of course you sort of say, oh, they'll know because the weight of a brick and all of that. Yeah, it was a light brick, like a breeze block type thing. But the best one, we're driving down the autostrada, the motorway in Italy, and this guy's behind us and he's flashing us with his lights, yeah. So we pull over, and he's dressed impeccably and all the rest of it. And he's a pilot, and he's on his way to Fiumicino. This isn't just outside Napoli. He's on his way to Rome, to Fiumicino. And last night he was staying at the hotel and just down the road, and someone robbed him. Yeah, and all I need is about 50,000 lira. It's about sort of 40 quid or something to get down the road. Impeccable. He had all of his identity as a pilot with Alitalia. And that's what he did. Wow. I mean, scam after scheme after scam. I mean, just brilliant. I'd have to applaud him. He was impeccable.
Yeah. This is the place you want everyone to go to for training, Gerry.
Yeah, just to understand what life's about. These people know how to survive and enjoy. And above all, if you think you enjoy life, you've not been to Napoli.
Okay, I'm going. Okay, so 2 things I've got out of this interview which are going to change my life, Gerry. I'm going to go to Italy, and I'm going to read more Michael Chekhov.
Have you not been to Italy, Barnaby?
Well, when I was a kid, but not recently.
And you've not read any Michael Chekhov. That's bad.
No, I have, but but
Years
it's
ago.
making me want to go back to it and reread and read bits I haven't read. So thank you.
There's a mate of mine who's got quite a good book, Frank Chamberlain, and it's like an introduction.
Frank,
you know Frank. Fucking hell.
Little.
So anyway, he's got an easy to read sort of Chekhov book, which is good, and I might get 50 quid out of that as well.
There's lots of 50 quids coming your way, I think, Gerry.
I know. Well, they're useful.
And but it seems like you're paying them out as quickly as you're getting them in. So
I've not seen a 50 quid though. I mean, that's the other thing. Money's going out of business, isn't it? It's all sort of swiping bloody cards.
Yeah,
What about all these other questions you're going to ask me? I wrote them down and I can't find it.
Well, we've been through pretty much all of them, seamlessly without realizing it.
That's your skill.
Yeah. You didn't notice any of the strange segues or the glitches.
None at all.
It was like a completely fluid conversation.
I wrote them down, but there was an interesting one.
Well, the only one I didn't really hit on was the challenges of performing and directing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which when we were talking about it before the interview, you said it was to do with ego, which I thought was very interesting, but we didn't get any further than that. So
yeah. Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, I have performed in and directed shows, and in some ways it's been brilliant. I've been really enjoyed that, but it's also been a real mistake because I learned so much from working with by being directed by other people, particularly Phelim McDermott and Julian Crouch, who are just far out. John Wright as well, but Phelim and Julian. Anyway, so I missed out on all of that. So you get more sort of hands-on sort of control and all the rest of it. But also, if someone else is directing you, you have a bit more headspace that's free. You're more. I don't know. I think you're just freer, perhaps. So I've been trying to get someone to direct me. So Mick, get off your arse. So Mick Barnfather, if you don't know Mick Barnfather, you should have Mick on here.
Yeah,
he's a really great teacher, and he says he's given up directing, which I know he has. But I'm going to cajole him into coming and doing my last week or something with me.
So all these performers and clowns who become directors and then decide they can't be bothered with it anymore because it's too much.
I never said that about Mick. You did.
Well, and yourself in a way, you're just trying to, you've gone on that journey through directing, and now you're interested in not being directed again.
Not being directed. Yeah, no. Well, no, I want to be directed again.
I mean, sorry, not directing anymore, but having somebody else direct you. Yeah,
that's right. I don't want to have all the responsibility, but importantly, I just want to learn and find out stuff that I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
Otherwise, the danger is that you're just going around in circles a bit.
Yeah,
or a lot.
It was amazing when you showed up in my workshop the other day. I was extremely, I was a little nervous and honored.
Yeah. Honored.
Oh, Molly, Gerry Flanagan's taking my workshop.
Molly?
My wife.
Molly. All right. Oh, you're Molly. Sorry. Yeah. Where's Molly today? Hey, you have Moshe in here, and Molly's about, and now she's not about. What's wrong with me?
Oh, I don't know.
What's special about Moshe?
Well, he's very special in many ways, and so are you.
I know, but
he has special ways with potatoes.
Yes, he does. He does. But I'm really into Feldenkrais. It's wonderful. Really, really is wonderful. Oh yeah. Oh, come on. If folk out there, if you don't know, Feldenkrais is, you're discovering through movement. You're not deciding stuff. It's all about discovery and not knowing and finding out. And that's what the clown does. It's so ridiculously. I mean, he didn't design it with a clown in mind, but if God was onto it, he would have done it. I mean, it's just perfect for clowning. Just perfect.
Well, Joss Huben was a Feldenkrais guy.
Yeah.
Feldenkrais with and Andrew Dawson.
Yeah.
They made that show together, and I
Yeah,
think
Andy, yeah,
with Monica Pagneux.
and Monica, yeah,
Mm.
brilliant. So I mean, that's another dimension again. Monica, bloody hell. Sorry, I'm what? I've been asked how long will I be?
You're done. Actually,
I'm
that's
done. He says.
I had this all planned out.
Of course you had.
And so I just want to say, and you know, I'm so grateful and thankful for you coming on today, Gerry. It's really been fun talking to you, and I've learned a lot. And you know, I'm gonna stop worrying about what my calling is, and I'm just gonna decide what it is I enjoy and share it.
Okay, cool, good. Thank you very much, Barnaby. Yeah. And one thing we didn't talk about is what you was wanting to know, advice to people starting out or something.
Oh yeah. Do you want to finish with that?
Just have fun. Try and get rid of any preconceptions you've got. Do some Tai Chi, do some yoga, try and empty your head, anything to empty your head, apart from drugs. Although you could, without the drugs. And be simple, play games, and try to win them and lose them. But just encourage yourself. Be a good friend to yourself. It's really important to be a good friend to yourself, because often we just shit to ourselves. What advice would you give to your best mate? Because you want your mate to be great, yeah. And a good friend tells the truth. But just enjoy yourself. Start off simple. Don't have any highfalutin ideas. Just find out. Don't have any preconceptions about what clown is. That's all. And above all, just watch Buster Keaton.
And Jacques Tati.
And Tati, yeah. And Jacques Tati.
We've covered so much in this conversation, Gerry.
And Pluto. Pluto is Mickey Mouse's dog.
Okay. And
there's a brilliant cartoon where they go to the zoo and a seal gets, by mistake, they take a seal back home. And it's all about Pluto, and he is brilliant.
Pure clown.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much, Barnaby. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. See you again.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.